This is a paid political advertisement. Jon McCoy is running for sheriff in Adams County. Jon McCoy for sheriff.com is his website. I won't ask him to identify himself as a Bears fan because I couldn't take it, perhaps, what the answer might be. What are we going to talk about today, oh great one?
Well, we were talking yesterday about the largest drug bust in Adams County.
The real largest drug bust.
And I'll talk about one that happened just before that when Tony Grooten was actually the last one that he and I got to work together on.
And he's going to be your chief deputy if you're elected.
Right.
Okay.
He's now currently serving as chief of police in Jacksonville.
I'm filling in all these blanks for you.
And I appreciate that. It was another interdiction that where we like to grab off the product before it gets to our community. And we made a deal with one of the drug dealers that was coming from the south, bringing cocaine in. We tried to convince them to come to Quincy. They wouldn't come that far. They were coming from Florida. It was a ex-police officer and a Colombian that had teamed up. They said they would come as far as St. Louis, so we had to, of course, incorporate a lot of other agencies involved in that. It ended up being $180,000 dope deal, and it involved cocaine. The two individuals flew up. Actually, there were three. There was a female with them. We already had the room set up for them, and the entry teams. Myself, I was going to take a team in with going after the ex-cop, and Tony Grooten was going to go after the Colombian. When we hit the doors and secured our room, I heard Tony yelling at me that the person that they were going after went over the balcony. We were on the third floor of the Holiday Inn that sits right across from the airport there in St. Louis. We had a surveillance team outside in the parking lot. A lot of guys were heading for the elevators. I didn't do that. I headed for the stairs. I knew I could get down those floors faster if I took the stairs. So I did. I hit each landing, and out the door I went. And I actually tripped over a kilo of cocaine that was dropped from the balcony. After asking our people out in the parking lot if they'd seen somebody come out that way, they hadn't. And I happened to look up the floor right below the third floor, and I seen somebody peeking out a louver on the window. It was determined that that room should not have been occupied. So we obtained a key from the manager, entered that room, and captured the fellow from Colombia. Now, the thing I never forget about him is how much gold he had on him in jewelry. But that was the last drug bust that I was involved with Tony. It was a big one, and he was just preparing to go to DEA at that time, and of course we had DEA involved in that one also.
Wow, interesting tales from experienced lawman Jon McCoy. The election is coming up in November, and you have a choice to make on the ballot in Adams County for sheriff. Jon McCoy for sheriff.com is where you can find more information about the Republican candidate, where proven experience matters. Thank you very much, Jon.
Thank you.
Paid for by Jon McCoy for sheriff.